Welcome back, listeners. We're going to Oz.
To Oz.
Yeah. Well, not the Oz you might remember from the film. This deep dive is all about Wicked, the musical.
Uh-huh.
It asks the question, what if the Wicked Witch, wasn't really wicked?
Oh, I see, I see. Wicked. It's interesting how it took the original novel by Gregory Maguire
Right.
and turned it into this, like, global phenomena.
It really is.
And we're going to unpack all that,
Yeah.
the how, the why, the music, the themes,
The whole shebang.
why it connects with people, everything.
Okay, so the novel Wicked,
Yeah.
the life and times of the Wicked Witch of the West, it was a hit.
Yeah.
But what was the spark? Like, how did someone think, hey, let's make this a musical?
Well, Stephen Schwartz, he's the composer and lyricist. He deserves a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm.
He saw something
Mm-hmm.
in Maguire's story, like the potential for it to be this musical that could tackle some tough topics like good versus evil, identity, social justice, these big ideas we still think about.
Timeless stuff. Yeah, for sure. But, okay, how do you go from book to stage? I mean, they're not exactly the same, are they? What had to change to make Wicked work as a musical?
You're right. It wasn't easy. They actually streamlined the story,
Okay.
focusing more on Elphaba and Glinda, their friendship and how they grow.
Right, right.
That makes it, relatable to more people. And some of the darker stuff,
From the book?
yeah, the political stuff from the book, that had to be toned down
I didn't see that.
to fit the whole Broadway vibe,
Right, to make it more, I guess, palatable for a broader audience.
Exactly.
But, I mean, an entire novel crammed into a 2.5-hour show, that's got to be tough.
Oh, it was. Huge challenge. They had to simplify some characters, leave out some subplots entirely.
I bet.
Always a tough call, but, it's about pacing, keeping people engaged.
Right, yeah.
But they kept the core stuff. Elphaba and Glinda's relationship, their issues, their emotional journeys.
That's what matters. Okay, I gotta admit, even weeks later, I'm still humming Defying Gravity.
It's catchy.
So catchy. Why? What's the secret sauce in the music that makes it stick with you?
Stephen Schwartz, he's a master. He writes music that isn't just like background noise.
Yeah.
It digs into the characters, their journeys. Take Defying Gravity. It's not just a big ballad.
Mm-hmm.
It's Elphaba rejecting everything people expect of her.
I love that song.
And the melody, how it rises, the key change, it mirrors her emotions perfectly.
Wow, you're right.
Like you're hearing her inner thoughts.
And Popular, Glinda's big song, so fun, so bubbly. Does that one tell us something deeper about her?
Oh, absolutely. Popular is a great example of how Schwartz uses music to reveal a character's layers.
Okay.
It's playful, sure, like Glinda, but it also hints at her insecurities,
Interesting.
her wanting to be liked, her maybe slightly shallow view of things,
Oh, I see.
which clashes with Elphaba, which is what makes their relationship so interesting.
It's like the music is giving us like a secret decoder ring for their personalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Were there any other like musical patterns you noticed, like tricks in the score that helped tell the story?
Oh, tons. Schwartz uses these recurring musical motifs. Think of them like threads woven into a tapestry.
Okay.
Melodies, chord progressions, each tied to a specific character or idea.
I never noticed that.
It's subtle, but it adds depth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one motif might play whenever Elphaba and Glinda's paths cross.
Oh, wow.
It highlights how their fates are connected. Little musical breadcrumbs for the audience.
It's like a hidden layer of storytelling, and the style of the music, it's like pop, rock, even classical sometimes.
All right. You can't really pin it down.
Did that blend of styles, did that help make the show so popular?
I think so. It's like a musical melting pot. There's something for everyone.
I get that.
And it echoes the themes of the show: acceptance, inclusion.
It's like a soundtrack for everyone. Okay, but Wicked isn't just about dazzling costumes and catchy tunes.
No, definitely no.
It makes you think. What are the big themes, the messages that stick with people?
One of the strongest, and we hear it in the music too, is Elphaba and Glinda's friendship.
Right.
They start as opposites, green and pink.
Mm-hmm.
But they learn to get each other, to value each other's strengths and weaknesses, their relationship. It challenges all these societal norms.
I think that's why people connect with it so much.
Yeah,
They're so different, but their bond is powerful.
absolutely.
And the theme of self-acceptance, huge in Wicked, with Elphaba being labeled wicked just for being different.
Right.
How does that play out in the musical?
Elphaba's journey is all about being true to herself, even when everyone says she's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She defies expectations, finds strength in who she is. Remember Defying Gravity?
Oh, yeah.
That's her anthem, her embracing herself, and it's like she's urging the audience to do the same.
Powerful stuff.
It speaks to anyone who's ever felt like an outsider.
Like they don't belong. It's such an important message. And speaking of defying, Wicked kind of flips the whole good versus evil thing on its head.
It does. It challenges that black and white thinking, shows the shades of gray in morality.
Yeah.
Elphaba, who we think is the villain, she's a victim of circumstance and prejudice.
Right.
Wicked makes us question who's good, who's bad. It's rarely that simple.
It's like it's asking us to walk in someone else's shoes. Okay, let's talk about the visuals.
Well, yeah.
Wicked is such a spectacle. The sets, costumes, it's captivating.
Yeah.
What are the key elements?
Nojin Lee, the set designer, he created this world that's magical, but also, like, unsettling. Not all sunshine and rainbows. The stage is filled with these, like, intricate clockwork elements, big gears, massive structures. It reflects the wizard's control over Oz.
So the set isn't just decoration, it's telling us something about the story.
Exactly.
And the costumes, so iconic, especially Elphaba's green skin, the witch's hat. Are they symbolic too?
Oh, definitely. Susan Ilfredi's costumes, they're like characters themselves. Elphaba's green skin, instantly, she's different. It represents her being an outcast, her connection to nature.
I see.
Her clothes, dark greens, blacks, reinforce that image. Glinda's all pinks, yellows, sparkles.
Right.
She fits Oz's idea of beauty, popularity.
Wow, so much conveyed through clothing. And of course, the special effects.
Oh, yeah.
Elphaba defying gravity, it's iconic. How do those effects add to the story?
That levitation scene during Defying Gravity, it's pure magic. It's Elphaba breaking free, refusing to be held back.
Right.
The lighting, the effects, the fog, it creates this immersive experience.
Wow.
Like the audience is part of Elphaba's rebellion.
It's like they bring magic to life right there on stage.
Okay, we've covered so much, but before we wrap up this part of our Wicked Deep Dive, I'm curious about its lasting impact. Why has it become such a phenomenon? Why does it resonate with people years later?
Well, Wicked has become a cultural touchstone, particularly for younger generations.
It sparks conversations about social justice, self-acceptance, themes that are so relevant today.
Okay.
Wicked has raised the bar for female characters in musicals, too.
How so?
I mean, Elphaba and Glinda aren't just, like, simple heroines. They're flawed, they're ambitious. They change so much over the story.
So you're saying Wicked showed that women can be complex, interesting, and people were ready for that.
Exactly. And Wicked proved that audiences crave stories that aren't easy, you know? Stories with moral ambiguity that make you think harder about the world.
So Wicked kind of broke the mold, showed that musicals could be more than just light entertainment.
Precisely. And look at its financial success. It's a box office smash. It's given other producers the courage to, to take risks on similar stories.
Like Wicked created a whole new blueprint for what a musical could be. And has its impact been felt beyond just Broadway?
Absolutely. Wicked is everywhere. Fan communities, merchandise, even academic studies. It's amazing. People connect with this story on a personal level, finding inspiration in Elphaba.
That's so interesting. So what's the secret sauce that keeps bringing audiences back? What makes Wicked so enduring?
Well, as we discussed, it gives you a fresh look at a story everyone knows. We all grew up with The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
But Wicked clips it, makes you question everything you thought you knew.
Like peeking behind the curtain and seeing what's really going on.
Exactly. And then there's the music. Those songs, they get under your skin. They become anthems. They speak to the soul.
So it's more than just the music or the spectacle. It's about connecting with something deeper.
Yes. It's about those universal themes. Acceptance, friendship, being true to yourself. Those stories are timeless, and that's why Wicked continues to resonate with people.
It's like a reminder that even when the world tries to put you in a box, you can still choose your own path.
Wicked hasn't just entertained audiences. It's like it's left a footprint, a mark on our culture.
You're saying Wicked has had an influence that goes way beyond just, like, being a hit show.
Exactly. Wicked has become a cultural touchstone, especially, I think, for younger people.
Really?
It sparks conversations about big things, social justice, self-acceptance, issues that resonate, really deeply with folks today.
I can see that. So how has it specifically influenced modern musical theater? Did it change the game in any way?
Oh, I think so. Wicked definitely raised the bar for female characters in musicals.
Yeah.
I mean, Elphaba and Glinda, they're not your typical, one-dimensional heroines.
Right.
They have flaws, they're ambitious, and they go through these huge transformations.
Right. It's like Wicked said, hey, women can be complex, interesting, and the audience was like, yes, finally.
Exactly. And it wasn't just the characters, Wicked's success proved that audiences wanted more. They were hungry for stories that challenge easy answers, stories that make you think, stories with moral ambiguity.
So it was kind of a risk that paid off big time.
Absolutely. It showed that musicals could be more than just fluff, more than just entertainment.
Right. They can make you think. They can even be a little controversial.
Exactly. And don't forget the box office numbers. Wicked is a smash hit, which, inspires other producers. It shows them that it's okay to take risks, to try new things.
So Wicked almost created like a new blueprint for musical theater success.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
But its impact goes beyond Broadway, even. It's become this pop culture phenomenon.
Okay, give me some examples.
Well, think about it. Fan communities online, merchandise, even academic studies on Wicked. It's crazy. People connect with it on a personal level. They see themselves in Elphaba's journey, find strength in her resilience.
It's amazing how a show can do that, touch so many people in different ways.
It really is.
So we've talked about the impact on theater, on culture, even on individuals. What do you think Wicked's lasting legacy will be? What will people remember about it, say, 50 years from now?
I think Wicked will be remembered as a game changer.
In what way?
It dared to be different, and in doing so, it showed the world what a musical could be. It broke barriers, challenged norms, and inspired people to embrace their own wickedness. It's a powerful thing.
It really is. Now, speaking of powerful, we have to talk about Elphaba. She's such a compelling character.
Absolutely.
Why do you think she's so relatable, so inspiring, especially to so many people?
Elphaba is an icon, especially for anyone who's ever felt different,
Like an outcast.
Yeah, misunderstood, marginalized. She's born with green skin, which instantly sets her apart.
Right.
Makes her a target of prejudice.
She's like the one who doesn't fit in.
Exactly. And despite all that, all the challenges, Elphaba refuses to let others define her.
She's strong.
She is. She embraces what makes her unique. She fights for what she believes in. And ultimately, she learns to defy gravity, both literally and, I think, metaphorically.
That's such a powerful message. She's a symbol of hope.
Absolutely.
Like she's saying, you have the power to rise above your circumstances, to create your own destiny.
And there's her relationship with Glenda, too.
Right.
It's so complex, their friendship, it's unlikely. But it shows that we can find common ground with people who seem totally different from us.
It's a good reminder that sometimes your greatest allies come from the most unexpected places.
Exactly. Wicked teaches us that true friendship goes beyond, appearances, social status, even differing opinions.
That's beautiful, especially in a world that often feels so divided. So we've talked about the impact of Wicked on theater, on culture, even on us as individuals. What do you think its lasting legacy will be? What will people remember about it decades from now?
Well, I think Wicked will be remembered as a show that dared to be different. And in doing so, it redefined what a musical could be. It broke down barriers, challenged norms, inspired generations of audiences to embrace their own wickedness.
To embrace their individuality.
Exactly.
Right.
It's a story that I think will always resonate. It'll keep sparking conversations, reminding us that we all have the power to change the world.
Okay, so we're back for our final look at Wicked.
One last time behind the curtain.
And throughout these deep dives, we've talked about how Wicked kind of turns that whole good versus evil idea on its head.
Right. It's not so black and white.
Exactly. It makes you think twice about just accepting things at face value.
It definitely challenges your assumptions, makes you see things from different angles.
That's what I love about it. So it got me thinking, if Wicked can reframe the story of the Wicked Witch, what other stories, myths, historical figures could benefit from that kind of re-examination?
Ooh, that's a great question. Think about Joan of Arc. She was condemned as a heretic, but later recognized as a saint.
Wow.
Her story shows how perceptions change over time, how those in power can shape the narratives we believe.
It's like that saying, history is written by the victors. Makes you wonder how many stories have been, twisted or silenced.
So many. And often, those untold stories belong to groups who haven't had a voice, haven't had a platform.
Like who?
Think about indigenous cultures. Their stories, their perspectives, so often overshadowed, erased by colonial narratives.
It's a reminder to be more careful about what we believe, to seek out those different perspectives. And Wicked kind of gives us the tools for that, right?
Yeah, it does. It shows that even the most familiar stories can be reinterpreted, that there's always more than one side to every coin. Keep those questions coming, keep exploring, and remember, there's a little bit of Wicked in all of us.
Thanks for listening.